Her lifelong ambition was to serve the people of Cleveland, and from her first day on the job in January of 1980, Ward 7 Councilwoman Fannie M. Lewis was driven to help those she served. And if it took standing up to the powers that be, so be it.
We need to do the same thing in private that we do in public. And I'm speaking right now for the committee because we have not met for quite some time. We know there's a lot of difficulties that's going on. But I don't chase after problems. I try to find solutions for them.
Fannie Lewis became a tireless advocate for those yearning to be heard, for problems demanding to be addressed. In the 28 years since she was sworn in, Fannie Lewis knew only one way to find a solution. That was to go at it head on with whoever could get the job done. It was that kind of fortitude that led her to demand a new day in Hough, to repair the damage left behind by the turbulent riots of the 60s. It was one of her crowning achievements.
This is where everything has a crossroad here, 79th and Hough. This monument was built in order to help us to remember who we are and where we came from and how important it is for us to have some stability in our neighborhood. The Oval is because this was the entrance to Addison Junior High School. There was 2,700 youngsters in the school at one time. It was so crowded they had to sit on the windowsill to get their lesson.
But Ms. Lewis would move on to claim many more victories on behalf of the people she served, and today Ward 7 and the entire city of Cleveland is better off because of her efforts. Who better to sum up the life and achievements of Fannie Lewis than those who knew her best, worked with her, and benefited from her actions in the community?
Councilwoman Ms. Lewis was an extraordinary woman. And if you look today at the council committee room that she sat here for more than 28 and a half years, there's a chair down there. And she was the only council person to have a chair that wasn't a chairman. When Ms. Lewis came into the room, it was out of respect. It was an unwritten rule that the council member, whoever was sitting in that chair, stood up and gave it to her. And she did so much good for this city and the people of Ward 7. It is a sad day for the city of Cleveland. But if you think about it, the chapter of Fannie M. Lewis comes to a close today, but what a chapter in the city of Cleveland's history books it was. She has done so much for this city, and in particular for the people of Ward 7. She will be missed, but she will not be forgotten.
If you think of the role of council people is to be an advocate and an ombudsman and be a legislator, she really she did it all. She accomplished both goals. She's the only council person for whom a law is named, and that's the Fannie Lewis law.
The rebuild of her neighborhood, without question, is her most remarkable achievement. The most remarkable thing about Fannie as an individual was her conscience. You know, in 30 years, I never heard her say a bad word, a four-letter word, all that time, ever. Yeah. That simply means that she had a great deal of restraint.
Mayor Frank Jackson recalled one of his first experiences working with Fannie Lewis.
Ms. Lewis influenced a lot of people, whether they were in council or not. But I do remember one time when I was a rookie. I just got elected, took my seat in January of '90, and I was made chairman of the health committee. And so I took my time, you know, me thinking I was going to do my job and do it right. I took my time, I went through the legislative box of the health committee, and I found some old pieces of legislation that were pretty old and really could not be passed or used in any way. So I tabled them. And one of the pieces was a piece that Ms. Lewis had introduced, and she was upset with me because I had tabled the legislation. So I went to Ms. Lewis and I said, well, Ms. Lewis, I didn't mean any harm. And she said to me, she said, boy, if you shoot me intentionally or unintentionally, I'm still dead. She taught me something, and she taught me what she was doing was breaking me in. And she was teaching me the rules of council. and that before you do certain things, there are certain protocols, even if they're not written, they're the unwritten rules of council that you should follow. And so she was just breaking me in.
Former Mayor Jane Campbell realized early on that projects that carried the name Fannie Lewis nearly always got done.
You walk around Hough, it is a different place. Because Councilwoman Lewis not only has a vision, but she has the dedication to make that vision possible. And I am privileged to be her partner in that effort.
Because of her dedication and tireless service, Mayor Jackson presented Councilwoman Lewis with the key to the city in 2007. Although she could be a thorn in the sides of movers and shakers, they all admired her as a public servant on a mission to do good.
She's leaving a legacy that'll be very hard for anybody else to fill, because they don't make them like Fannie anymore. Fannie is my generation. They just don't make them that way anymore.
Community Relations Board Director Blaine Griffin admits his life would not be the same without the kind of guidance only Fannie Lewis could provide.
Well, I will tell you first and foremost that Cleveland truly lost a matriarch. We didn't just lose a politician. We didn't just lose a council person. We didn't just lose a representative for Hough. We lost a representative for the city. We lost a true person that really represented the folks of the city of Cleveland. And I can tell you a million stories about Miss Lewis. I mean, she would always make these statements that, talked about, you got to know politics and money. She would also say things like, God loves you and I'm sure trying.
We have a responsibility to make sure that we're doing what we can for each other. And that if we are sitting a level above others, that we've got to remember that they need help and reach back and help them.
Fannie M. Lewis, a person who gave all she had to the city she loved.